I like it. Shout out to Jose Ramirez, right hand.
Knock the fuck out.
You're right. I like working out to the LK Sport Podcast. This is number 54. We're doing the NFC West. Going from bottom to top. It's going to be pretty quick and simple. Like I said, we're getting as much information as we can as possible. I should have turned that down a little sooner, but it's all good. Shout out to A1 Dunn on the beat. G Money, what's happening, baby?
What's up?
Let's do it, man. Let's go ahead, jump right into it. You got any other news before we do get into this?
Besides Tim Anderson getting knocked out? No, I don't think so.
Yeah, other than
I know. I said that you said Jose Ramirez. He actually knocked him out. Tim Anderson's the one that got knocked the fuck out.
What else? What happened in sports? So past week, so it's been about a week.
The Saints signed Kareem Hunt today.
Yeah,
that happened. I mean,
Kareem Alvin Kamara got 3-game suspension.
That's true. Yeah, that's since the last time.
Yeah. What else? What else we missing? We got the Eagles. Got a couple linebackers. They signed. You hear my dogs in the background. Somebody must be here. Oh yeah, I forgot you're a Cowboys fan, but we'll get more into that when we do the NFC East part of it. But let's go ahead and jump right into it. AFC West, Arizona Cardinals.
West side, yeah, the Cardinals. They were 4-13 last year. They fired Clint Kingsbury and brought in Jonathan Gannon. Last year on the offensive side of the ball, they were 22nd in total offense, 18th in passing, 22nd in rushing. They were 21st in points at 20 a game. On the defense side of the ball, they were 21st in total D, 24th versus the pass, 14th versus the rush. They were second to last in points, giving up 26.4 a game. They were 24th in sacks and had a -5 turnover differential. Just overall pretty crappy team last year. Probably the same this year too, but
yeah. Sorry guys, I know y'all probably hear my dogs in the background. Somebody got to be here. But hopefully my son can get them under control soon. But Arizona Cardinals, like you said, 4-13 last year. They got an over under 5.5. They drafted offensive line Paris Johnson. I think he's from Texas, if I'm not mistaken. I got to get my Ohio State. Excuse me. Then they went B.J. Oloje, and then they went Garrett Williams, cornerback. They didn't do much in the offseason edition. They got Zach Pascal, a couple offensive linemen, try to keep whenever Kyler Murray comes back upright. Defensive side, they went and got some few players, Kazir White, Boyd, Fenton. They went and re-signed their kicker. They got the 31st ranked O-line by PFL, which is not good at all. Like I said, they are going to be without Kyler Murray to begin the season, so Colt McCoy is going to be their starting quarterback.
Running for his life.
You still got James Conner. They don't have Hopkins no more. He's in Tennessee. So your number one out there is Hollywood Brown. Then you still got Rondale Moore. Who else you still got there? Zach Ertz.
Greg Dortch, who remember he was he played well. He played well when Hopkins was out and stuff. But I mean, again, I don't expect
much from this team.
Now, fantasy-wise, they may have some, they probably be throwing the ball a lot, so might want to, maybe a couple of these receivers might be worth the while just because they're going to be throwing the ball a ton. And we'll see what happens. I don't know, because this team's going to be so bad, I don't know what's going to happen with Kyler Murray. I don't think he's going to be rushing. He's going to be working on his Call of Duty more than he's going to be working on his game, I think.
I think we'll see some Kyler this year, but it's not going to be worth it depending on how many games he has. If he got 4 to 6 games, I don't think it'll be worth it because you got to think that the fantasy football season in week 15 now, 14 with the extra week.
Yeah, 14's the end of the regular season.
So you only get 8 games with Kyler if he gets to 6 weeks. And I think it's the other option better that for the total outcome of a fantasy football season would be much better outcome for you.
Yeah, if you got deep rosters, maybe he's worth the stash, maybe, because I think they're going to want to. I think it's some more. I think they may want to. I feel the Cardinals may want to try to showcase him a little bit because I think if they are as bad as some people think they may be. They may be in the running for the Caleb Williams market. So
true.
And so you want to show off this guy if you're going to try to trade him or something. So I don't think they can just release him to be too much dead money.
Right, and they got the 22nd strength of schedule. Back to the fantasy football part of it. I mean, end of the day, you gotta put Hollywood Brown. I think depends on the ADP where you grab him. I think he's going to be a great option. I think Colt McCoy is going to look for him. I think he's going to get some targets out there. Who else going to catch the ball? You got Rondale Moore as well. He can get some targets like we spoke about before. We're gonna be passing a lot. I mean, I like James Conner. I think he's the only decent back that they do have there. I think he's gonna get 15 to maybe 20 touches a game. Like I spoke before, beginning of a game, you have to hand it to him. Try to keep the game in contact, keep it close as possible. So near the end of the game, you can try to win it, field goals, things of that nature. I mean, you got to piece it together. But at the end of the day, how we really know are they trying to win? Who knows? With the squad that they have right now, I don't think so. I think they're going out, putting their best foot forward, and trying to have a decent season. And with that said, with the over under 5.5, I'm taking the under right now.
Under.
Yeah.
Under.
Yeah. So we can go ahead and move on from these suckers. Who's next? Who we got here next?
The Los Angeles Rams.
Correct. Let's do it.
Coached by Sean McVay still. They were 5-12 last year. They had a pretty bad season as well. They were last in total offense, 27th versus the 27th passing, 28th rushing, and 27th in points at 18.1. On the defensive side, they were 19th in total defense, 22nd versus the pass, 13th versus the rush, 21st in points per game at 22.6, 21st in sacks, and had a -1 turnover differential. So that was probably their best statistic of their middle of the pack there.
LA Rams didn't have much wiggle room this offseason. They still coming back from that Super Bowl run that they went on with getting OBJ and trading all their picks away. And I think they got Matthew Stafford that year before. So they got, was it the same year or the year before? It was the year before.
It was the 2 years ago when they won the Super Bowl. That's what they got. They got Stafford. They went all in for that 1 year and got their chip, and then
now so they didn't really have much wiggle room. They signed a couple. They re-signed some guys. They didn't go out and get anyone. Like they said, they didn't have much cap room at all.
Yeah, I mean, this a team going for it, and they got it. They got it, so you got to give that to them. But they are like incomplete. I mean, this team is like all draft picks now.
It's kind of a rebuild, but it ain't a rebuild because you got older players, and Donald still there, Kupp still there, Matthew Stafford still there. You still got Higbee there. You piecing it together. I guess like I said, they another team that's going to try to put it together, win some football games this year. They really don't have no choice. They really can't tank. And I just don't think they have a team to actually win it at all at the same time. So it's kind of weird.
Yeah, I mean, I feel I've wavered with them a little bit. I thought they might be a playoff team. I've kind of gone back a little bit just because they have to stay healthy. If they're going to be, when you have guys like Stafford, you have guys like Donald, and you have guys like Kupp and McVay, who, I'm not as high on him as a coach as some people are, but I think he's a good coach. Like, you have those pieces. If this team can stay, especially if those main pieces can stay healthy, they might surprise something. Especially in a weaker NFC, maybe they sneak in at like 9-8, or maybe even like 8-9 and be that last team in. But I don't think they're going to. But this team has unless they hit on their like 15 draft picks, which you never know because they did a lot in the draft.
They did a lot of the draft.
Because they have no more money. They ran the way they did, and then they traded Ramsey away, and they did things like that. So they signed one free agent, I think. They don't have much room for error here. They're not in the NFL. In the NFL, there's going to be injuries. It's just the part of the game. It just depends on who's getting hurt and who's not getting hurt. So,
their biggest offseason splash news-wise is Stetson Bennett. He got him in the 4th round. Go Dogs, two-time national champion. Let's put some respect on his name. So,
did you see that meme I sent you about that? Because Sony Michel retired.
Oh, yeah.
Him and Stetson Benson played at Georgia together, and he's retiring.
Right.
And Stetson Benson's a rookie.
Get off my dog, man. You're a two-time champion, man. You gotta put some
hey, man, I got respect for him. But it's just funny. That's how long he was at Georgia for. What's he, like 32?
Bennett, I think it was like 26, 27. Honestly.
Yeah, I think he's like 26, 27 too. But yeah.
Let's see. He's 5'11", 192. You don't have much on him. I don't have this personal info on here. But other than that, he got a 28th ranked offensive line, which isn't great for Matthew Stafford because he's a pocket quarterback. Back in his Detroit days, he used to move around a little bit, but I don't think he has that in him anymore. They got the middle of the pack, strength of schedule at the 15th. Fantasy football wise, got to go Kupp and Akers. Other than that, he may take a flyer on Higbee. maybe Matthew Stafford. Who knows?
Stafford, yeah.
So if you really,
he's usually a pretty, near that. He's usually in that like 10, right around that 10.
But I think it's 12 more. If you're in a 12-team league, I think it's 12 more quarterbacks better than Matthew Stafford.
12. Yeah, probably. On paper, there probably is. But again, I think if you wait on a quarterback and he's healthy, he's not the worst. I won a championship with him before. So,
what year was that? 2010? Shit.
Like 2017 or something like that, maybe.
It's pretty good. I'm just cutting the shit. But over under 8.5. I'm going back and forth, like I said, when we do our final prediction show right before the regular season. I'm going under right now.
As am I.
Yeah,
I think they're right around 7-8 wins, somewhere in that range, and could be worse.
Right.
But
all right.
Especially because I think their ceiling is like 9 wins. So that's
I just don't see it right now. Like I said, you always have surprise teams every year. Now, who knows? Who LA might be one. Where the other LA might be one. I'm really high on the Chargers, but we're going to move on to the Seahawks.
The Seattle Seahawks, coached by Pete Carroll. They were 9-8 last year, which kind of surprised people last year. They were a lot of people were predicting them to be pretty bad last year. Right. No quarterback, losing Russell, but they 9-8 got into the playoffs and lost in the wild card round. They were 12th in total offense last year, 11th in passing, 18th in rushing. They were 9th in points at 23.9. They had the 26th best total on total defense, 14th versus the pass, 30th versus the rush, and they were 25th in points against at 23.6. They were able to rush the quarterback pretty good. They were 9th in sacks and had a +2 turnover differential, so a little bit better than average.
Seahawks, like you said, surprise team last year. I got high hopes for them this year. They over-unders 8.5 right now. They didn't really do much. They just locked up Geno for 3 years, $75 million. I'm happy for him. Let me get my hands together for him. I got to get the money coming for him. And now we get our hands together for him. I'm proud of you, man. You stuck through it. Like you said, they wrote you off and you ain't right back. Now you got $75 million coming to you, and you can't be mad about that. So they went and got him another target, Jackson Smith, Nick Jigma. You got
JSN.
JSN. That's what we're going to go with, JSN. Devin Witherspoon was their first pick. Then they went and got Jason at the end of the first round. Then they went and got Derek Hall from Auburn. I love what they did. They went and got Zach from UCLA. I just like what they did, man. They got Cameron. I love Cameron Young from Mississippi State. I think Pete Carroll's building a culture there, as he always has. He always played decent defense there. I think they played okay last year. They hit the draft lotto with Woodley last year. Now they got Witherspoon to go on the other side of him. You re-signed Bobby Wagner.
And Kenneth Walker in the draft last year, too.
Yeah, Kenneth Walker. Then he's been hurt right now. So Zach.
He's been hurt, too. They've both been banged up in camp. It sounds like Zach is okay now. So
true. And then there's some more things I wrote down here for on defense. They went and got Jaron Reed, Jermont Jones, Mario Edwards Jr., Devin Bush, Bobby Wagner, Julian Love. All these are vet guys. Only thing that concerns me some is they got the 30th ranked O-line by PFF ranking. I don't, no disrespect, Gino, you're not the mobilist guy that you used to be. Don't get me wrong. I'm pretty sure you can still run pretty decently for your age, but you're gonna have to get the ball out quick. Saying that 30th ranked O-line, so it kind of scares me a little bit. They got the 10th strength of schedule, so that's a bonus on their end. So
it is. They play in that division. It's like I said. I always have to take the strength of schedule with a grain of salt, just because you just never know year to year what teams. That's based on last year. But yeah, they should. You love Pete Carroll. This team got into the playoffs last year when nobody expected to. There should be. They made up. The defense was not good last year. The defense was not very good, but they did. They made a lot of moves. So if they work out, and again in this NFC, they should. I think they should be back. They should be back. And Geno Smith. That's again. We'll see. He got paid. Good for him. He deserves it. He's. They're able to do these moves too, because even though he got paid $25 million per year, is actually that's a discount. If you're paying your quarterback $25 million a year, that's a pretty good deal for a team. So
true, very true.
We'll see. I don't know. I'm not 100% sold on Geno that this wasn't, because he's been in the league for a while. It was 1 year. I think he can, I don't think he has to be, he doesn't have to be lights out for this team to contend for the playoffs. But if he plays like he did last year, this team will be in the playoffs. So they maybe they challenge the 49ers for this division if Geno plays like he did last year.
This is my sneaky team for the NFC this year. I really like their team. I really like what they did with it. They go 3 wide. And we can go single back with Zach or Kenny Walker. I like their defense. I'm going to go through it because, like I said, I'm kind of high on those guys. You got Draymond Jones, which they went and got in the offseason. You got Brian Munn, which is a big nose tackle. He's a big fella, guys. Jaron Reed, Darryl Taylor, Jordan Brooks. He came on last year for them. He damn near on every tackle. You got Bobby Wagner, self-explanatory. Uwozu. He was another guy that was always around the ball. Then you got him when you got Devin Witherspoon. Jamal Adams come back. I mean, he's not going to give you much in coverage. Maybe he got better in the offseason, but you already know he's going to come down to the line. He's going to interrupt plays.
He's very good around the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, he's going to tackle. And then if them guys don't be careful coming across that middle, he's going to light their heads up as well. He's a scare tactic out there. You always got to find him. Your head is on a swivel looking for Jamal Adams, just roaming around on that defense. And Quandre Diggs, he was a Pro Bowler last year. He's very good at the free safety. Then you got Woodland that you drafted last year. So with those names, just saying them out loud, I think if you know football, you got to be careful with the Seattle defense this year. They can be good. So playing the Cardinals twice a year, playing the Rams twice a year, then you got to – you're always going to have to battle them big boys that we're going to talk about next in San Francisco. But who knows what we're going to get from Purdy. Was Purdy last year a fluke? Is Trey Lance going to get another chance? Who knows? Sam Darnold might get a chance. Like I said, I'm moving on a little quicker. But this is my sneaky team for the NFC this year. They get in and they get 10-plus wins, which their over-on is 8.5, which I'm taking the over on. I see them being a problem. They're not winning the Super Bowl. Don't get me wrong. I'm not they're going to go get the Super Bowl, but every year, I think this team is better than last year. I think they might get 1 or 2 more extra wins this year. They got some some wide receiver handy. What's the word I want to use? Say if Metcalf or Lockett get hurt with JSN.
Depth.
Yeah, they got the depth to do it. And if Geno passed, like you said, do what he even did last year, this team is going to be right there and make the wild card and get in there. And I like them, man. Maybe they can still get one this year, get a playoff win this year.
Maybe.
Especially if they match up with an NFC South team.
Depending on where they fall in there, it's certainly possible. Yeah, I expect them to be in contention for playoffs. If not, I think I'm picking them to be in the playoffs. As of now, but I think in this NFC, I don't see them as contenders to win the conference, but I see them as playoff contenders for sure. I think the NFC is very top heavy, but
I'm gonna give you their first 4 weeks and you tell me their record. They got Rams at home, Detroit at Detroit, Carolina at home, New York Giants at New York.
3-1. If they're not 2-2, if they don't go at least 2-2 in that, they might be in trouble. But yeah, they should.
I can see
4-0. They could win all 4 of those games, but I think they need to try to be. Where are the games?
The away games are Detroit and the Giants.
Detroit.
They can lose to Detroit. I like Detroit a lot too. If you listen to the previous part, I really like Detroit.
Yeah, they definitely can beat the Giants. Again, it's the whole West Coast coming across the East Coast, which sometimes is a problem.
8:15 for that game. Monday night game.
Okay, so that helps. That helps for sure. So, yeah, they on paper, I would say they beat the Giants and the Rams. They should beat the Giants and the Rams, and then.
I don't see less than 3-1 right there. Maybe they go to Detroit and beat them, but somehow every week has.
Yeah, I think the Detroit's a toss-up game, but they should beat the Giants.
I really like Seattle,
and they should beat the Rams. And what was the 4th team? Carolina. Yeah, I think Carolina. I think that's they're at home though, the 12th man. So I think Carolina is like we talked about. They're an improved team too, but with a good defense. So.
Over under 8.5. You dance.
Over. Just I'm over. Yeah, I'm going to stay over.
Right on. Let's move on. 49ers, 13-4 last year, won the division. Brock Purdy came along.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to be fine to start the season. So, yeah, they were 13-4 last year, coached by Kyle Shanahan. They lost in the NFC Championship game without a quarterback. They were on the on the offensive side of the ball. They were 5th in total offense, 7th in rushing, 13th in passing, 6th in points at 26.5. They were 2nd in total D, 2nd versus the rush, 21st versus the pass, 1st in points against at 16.3. They were 11th in sacks, and they were plus 13, which was number 1 in the turnover differential. So, yeah, this is a well-balanced team.
Yeah, I like San Francisco a lot. You already know what they're capable of. Then when they got Sam Darnold this offseason, they're over under 11.5, sorry. They went and got some old vet wide receivers to back up Ayuk and Debo and Conley and Snead. They went and got some line guys and Brindle and things. On defense, they went and got Clinton Farrell, Javon Hargrave, which is their biggest one on defense. And you got Kerry Hyder, you got Isaiah Oliver and Tashawn Gibson, all those guys on that defense end to go along with I believe, is probably arguably the number 1 defense in the league this year, I believe, with Warner in the middle, and then you got what's the kid name on the end? I got his name. What's the kid that comes off the end for San Francisco?
The linebacker or the
sheesh, I can't
Greenlaw?
No. For Green Bay. Give me a second. I just had them guys up and I moved off them trying to look at something else here.
Oh, somebody signed, you're saying?
Here we go. Nick Bosa.
Oh, you're talking about Nick Bosa. He's not from Green Bay. You said from Green Bay.
I meant San Francisco. Why? I kept
that's what you're talking about. I thought you were talking about free. Oh yeah, Nick Bosa. He's not in camp right now. But yeah, no, he's a beast. He's one of the he shouldn't have won Defensive Player of the Year last year, but he did. But that's
who should have won it.
We know who's the best defensive player in football, so it's fine. It's fine. We'll talk about him later.
Anyway, but like where I was going, they got Bosa on that defense. I mean, they arguably can be the best defense in the league this coming year, and especially with the Hargrave and Farrell and all those guys they added on to that defense. And the biggest question mark is Purdy. It was Purdy a one-hit wonder.
Yeah, and then what they do because the one thing with that defense that they were a little bit vulnerable last year was against the pass. They were 21st versus the pass.
Right.
They do rush the quarterback, and they're very. You cannot run the ball on this team.
Yeah.
But that will be the big question. And Purdy, because teams are not going to be surprised by him anymore.
Right. They got tape. They got film. They're gonna study it. They're gonna see what he did well, don't do well, and they're gonna try to make his life a little harder. And coming off that injury, they're gonna it's part of the sport. They're gonna slam him on that elbow. They're gonna make sure he's healthy and good to go. They got the 18th ranked offensive line, which is not the worst. A lot of people say if it wasn't for Trent Williams on that line would be at the bottom. He's a great talent. Yeah, he's outstanding offensive lineman. They got the 5th strength of schedule, which is, that's an easy schedule. Especially they got them beating up their division, and I think their schedule. Let me go. If I'm not mistaken, excuse me, I'm getting a little tongue tied here. They play the NFC South, so that's why they stripped the schedule is what it is, and they play the NFC East, which is the bottom light with Giants and Washington Redskins. So, the both matchups that they have with the Cowboys and Eagles going to be amazing, but.
Yeah, they play that and then they get the Bucks because they play the first place schedule, and the Bucks won that division last year. They have a game like that, as you play a first place. But yeah, no, again, they're going to be
they're just good.
I said even if Brock Purdy doesn't play well,
you still got Trey.
I still think I'm saying, but even if they don't,
just saying team.
Yeah, if they don't get great quarterback play, this team still wins this division. I think even liking Seattle, I think this team still wins the division. The quarterback play will affect them in the playoffs more if they don't get good quarterback play.
Matter of fact, let's go back to Seattle real quick because we didn't speak on the fantasy guys. So we got DK Metcalf there. You got Tyler Lockett. Both are draftable. Are you staying away from the Walker Zach backfield, or would you take Kenny Walker?
No, I think I would try to. If I'm going to get one, I think I might try to get both. But,
Geno or Matthew Stafford?
Stafford.
I go Geno. That defense, would you, if all the guys go on the Steelers, the Ravens. I'm just going off the top of my head. The 49ers.
I don't think they're.
Cowboys.
I don't think they're a defense I would target in fantasy. I don't think. I'd
Okay.
have to. I'm not looking at a fantasy football like ranking list of defenses, but I don't think they're one I would.
Right. Okay. All right. Let's back to San Francisco, but fifth strength of schedule. We're gonna get it together today. You already know on the fantasy football side of it, you got Christian McCaffrey, Debo, Ayuk. Got a question mark on Kittle. Would you be comfortable with Kittle?
Yes.
You would.
I think there's going to be some, this team has a lot of weapons, so it's going to be, I think you're going to have some good weeks and some bad weeks with any of these guys. Maybe aside from McCaffrey, he's probably the safest guy, but with the way the tight ends are going, I mean, again, it depends where Kittle goes, because I generally don't like using a high pick on a tight end. But with the so many not good options out there, yeah, I would love if Kittle was my tight end. And it seemed like he really got going last year when Purdy started playing. Purdy liked him. He he was kind of disappointing a lot of the year. He was banged up, and then he came back. Purdy started, and it was like, ooh, and he won people fantasy leagues last year. Right. That's like how good he was down the stretch.
I was about to say something. I'm going to go through the first 8 here. They got a bye week at 9. Pittsburgh, at Los Angeles. At home, they got 3-game homestand with the Giants, Cardinals, Cowboys. Go back on the road for Cleveland and Minnesota. Then they're back at home for Cincinnati.
Tough game.
What you thinking? First eight games there.
I mean, 6-2. Something like that, 6-2.
I'm saying 5-3.
Somewhere around there.
I got Cleveland beating them at Cleveland. I got Cincinnati beating them. I like Cincinnati. Like you said, they've been vulnerable to the pass, and that's what Cincinnati does. And maybe the Cowboys get them.
Yeah, so I mean, I think knowing how good they'll be playing, those are the 3 games that stick out a little bit. So,
and it's a Sunday night game. It's gonna be fire. October 8th. Hey, boy. Hey, I like those type of action, bro. So
yeah, I might watch.
You might?
I might watch.
Yeah, all right.
I might watch that.
All right. So speaking
they
of
only knocked us out of the playoffs the last 2 years.
It did. The NFC West here, I think it's pretty cut and dry. San Francisco, Seattle. Then we got Rams and Cardinals.
Playing for second. That's the NFC West. Playing for second.
Yeah, because I think San Francisco, they're good despite any injuries. Who knows? That happens every year. Guys get hurt. So, like I said, but my surprise team of this NFC side period, I think, is the Seattle Seahawks, and I think you should watch out for them. I think you should hammer that 8.5 over because I think this team is going to be good. Other than that, what you got to say about the NFC?
Yeah, I don't know if I'd hammer. I think it's over too. I don't know if I'd hammer.
I'm hammering it.
What was the night? I don't think we talked about the Niners over under
11.5
over.
I'm gonna go over. 12-5 is not. That's not hard. Now they got the extra game. 12-5 doesn't seem bad at all. Like I said, I can see them just going off scanning through this quickly. I can see them losing at Cleveland, losing to either Cincinnati or Dallas, so that'll be 2. I think Seattle might get them at Seattle. I like the team. Like I said, that's 3. At Philadelphia will be a hard one. They might lose that one. That'll be 4, maybe.
That's like it.
Yeah.
I think after that, that's it. I think maybe there's one more.
Maybe
there.
Baltimore on Christmas.
Yeah, maybe that's maybe, but yeah.
So, hey.
Yeah, they should win. I think they win this division easy.
Right on, man. Anything else to say about the NFC West?
No, I don't think so.
All right.
That wraps it up for now until we do our final predictions.
You already know we end on positivity here on episode 54. We just got done talking about the NFC West. You already know push forward, strive for greatness, and we're going to end it on that. Keep it short and sweet. And you already know subscribe. And I thank you, and I'm grateful for you tuning into the LK podcast. And be humble, live humble, stay humble. Hey, I said those backwards. It'll be all right. But I really do thank you, and I'm grateful. And tune into the other ones. We already done the NFC South, AFC South. Well,
yeah, we just have the AFC West and the East left. That's
so we did both Norths, both Souths. We doing the NFC West. We got AFC West coming to you next. Then we got the NFC East and AFC East next. Then we're done. And then we're going to give you a prediction show and a fantasy show, correct?
Yeah, I think at least one fantasy show probably, but yeah.
Right, and we're going to try to keep it going during the week. We got some things going on, but as more pods come, we'll explain it to you more. So, like I said, be humble, live humble, stay humble, and I'm thankful and grateful for you listening to the LK Sport Podcast.